We will be back in some form.
We have an army of digital soldiers because this was an insurgency.
Hundreds dead, thousands infected across multiple continents.
You guys know what this represents?
All the people that have gone out there against the mainstream media and said, you're going to call us racist, you're going to call us potential Timothy McVeighs. You are.
All right. Up you patriots out there kicking ass, taking names. Welcome to the party, folks, to PatriotPartyNews.com. I am your host, Chaz Carter, better known as Underground Patriot, coming to you live from another place. I'll explain here in just a second. But, yeah, let us know where you are watching this from. Roll call is in full motherfucking effect. Hello. I see it. Buffalo, freaking Texas. Thank you, Angela. Appreciate that. What's up, North Carolina? Uh-oh, there goes Texas. Damn, Texas. North Carolina again. Good to see you guys. Alabama. I know I'm waking up everybody over here. England in the house. Good to see you. Newport, Kentucky. Indiana. What's up? That's right. Hey, Missy, we need to talk later on today. Man. Minnesota in the house. South Carolina's in the house. I'm trying to go through chats here because, man, it's just getting wild and crazy here. Look at here. Louisiana, bad boy Bill Coons in the house. I love it. Mississippi on Instagram. Thank you, Tommy. See, we see you on the scram. I don't know how long I'll be on the scram, but we'll try our best. England, UK in the house, Washington State's in the house, North Carolina, Texas is checking in, Iowa's in the house. Good to have you. Utah, New Mexico, hello. Hey, the Sunshine State, British Columbia in the house. All right, there you go. That's awesome. Good stuff. Well, listen, this is where the cool cats go to get their daily intel, news in bread. That's right, the PatriotPartyNews.com, folks. We are more than just a website. We are a full functioning badassery Patriot broadcasting network, broadcasting around the world 24/7. Hey, there's three major ways that you can support the truth because no one else is going to do it. Okay. First way, you can inject some resources right into PPN by donating now. Help us with our server storage. Why, Chaz, do you do this day in and day out and say this? Because we are not the cabal. We do not have any agendas to manipulate you. All we want to do is tell you the truth. Unfortunately, in this day and age, the truth is not free because everything else is lies. Donate now. Help us out to the cause. Donation links are going out within all of the chats. And if you don't see one, just go to our website, hit our menu where it says donate now right there, and we can rock and roll. Hey, the second way to really get some serious benefit out of what we're doing, it's called Patriot Shoot. Go to join.patriotshoot.com, join.patriotshoot.com right now. You get access to an incredible amount of data, intel, news from like-minded people, but also to discussions. Yes, people start breaking stuff down. It's pretty cool. You need to check out our voice chat platforms because we're all about truth, discernment, and the signal that's going out, period. Remember that, okay? Truth, discernment, and the signal that's going out. What do I mean by signal? Well, quite honestly, us broadcasting to deliver the truth day in and day out to you guys. they're going to make it to where it's going to have to make you work to find out who we are. That's why word of mouth, let people know who we are. They're not going to give us any play at all on free social media. You want the truth? Come to Patriot Shoot. You want to know what's going on? Get on Patriot Shoot. This thing started when Nashville got blown up. When my best friend, Warren, told me a couple things, but that was the main one, and it pissed me off because I don't like anybody bombing my city, period. We were not being fed the truth. Everybody tried to go to Parler. What happened to Parler? Asking for a friend. That's why we went on the hunt, going through 27 different social media platforms to find one that could support and do what we need to do and get the job done. And that's Patriot Shoot. Go to join.patriotshoot.com. You want to know more about the cabal? Go to join.patriotshoot.com. You want to know more about Operation Trust and Q? Go to patriotshoot.com. Go to join.patriotshoot.com. All right, cool. I think I hammered that home. Good enough. All right. Enough said. You get the idea. I see the master of disaster, the one and only Dallas up in this camp. Let me see. Good, Dallas. I'm going to go ahead and bring you on. All right. Sounds good. What's up, man?
Join patriotshoot.com. just one more.
Yes.
I'm good,
no,
buddy.
because it's that damn good and there's value out of it. And I'm going to tell you right now with the way things are going. And I was telling Jennifer, my wife, the other night, we were in a discussion about this, and we keep on saying, man, this feels like 2020 again, because there's so much weirdness, if that makes any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all with what's going on. It's totally the opposite of what we were told. However, we're starting to see the cracks opening up, and people are having to realize truly what is going on, who's really compromised. Is it just a certain area, Dallas? I know we talk about this time and time again, and we want there to be positive stuff happening for us to move forward. Okay, what's up, Navy Airman 70? So anyway, I'm at a crossroads. Can I be real with you? Because the kind of day I've had, we had a storm here where I'm at. My family's business, electric poles down. I look like a wet dog, and it's just crazy with what I've had to deal with this morning. But God's blessed me to be able to still be here with you guys, and because we have to. Whatever we got going on right now, I know it's important in our respective family lives, but for the longevity of all of our families, that everybody that's watching, this is so important. Please do not dismiss what we're trying to do as an overall goal. That's all. Sorry, Dallas. I didn't mean to try to take over something. I'm just
No. I knew there were storms. There's fires raging on down there in Georgia that are.
That's why I'm so happy about the water, because yes, Brantley County is about not under 2 counties away from where I'm at right now. And that's the first thing I started making phone calls and everything when before I came down and said, we're looking at it. It's like, well, hopefully we might get some water. So this is a good thing, but it comes with a price, and I guess it is what it is. So
no, I mean, Chad's, it's funny. I was out with my girls last night, and it's just been a rough week, man. I mean, Monday night, I'm at Bible study. My truck gets obliterated by hail. Not if I'd have been at home, there wasn't a drop, not a drop of rain in my house. And we've had soccer practice canceled all week because of off and on storms. And then I heard about the storms in Georgia. Then I started reading about the fires in Georgia. The fire in Georgia has burned more acreage than the largest.
Tripled, hasn't it, in size? I think
it's burned more than the largest fire in California.
I didn't know that.
That's a lot of acreage, and it's ironic because the part of Georgia that's on fire, one, is kind of marshland. I mean, it's kind of boggy,
Right.
Weird.
Sure. Absolutely.
But it's also where they plan to put these AI and data centers. And, it's really weird. It kind of feels like, to me, and I'm not from Georgia, I'm not even down there, but it kind of feels like Hawaii. It kind of feels like North Carolina. It kind of feels like Palisades. It kind of feels like Northern California, when they're doing these land grabs. Los Angeles. They want to make Los Angeles a 15-minute city, so they just burned Los Angeles to the ground. At least the part on the coast where they really wanted. But I've been watching this lady. She tracks lightning strikes, and the other night there are energy waves coming from like the Gulf of Mexico up into the southern states, Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, Alabama. And she tracked like 197,000 lightning strikes in a 15-minute period or something crazy like that.
Right.
That in her 20-some years of like studying storms and tracking lightning, she's never seen anything like this. And she said it is absolutely being driven and manipulated by something other than natural forces. But that's an interesting map.
Yeah. This is they call it the spinal map here. A lot of telltale signs here when you look at it, when you invert it with everything. Majority, obviously, what looks like flames is actually water. And then, of course, you obviously see the rest. But what, where's it at? I had it on what I wanted earlier. Oh, well. Yeah. I don't want to scare people. Everybody's like, oh my God, is the world burning? No. It's just an inverted map here. So here is some active stuff that's happening in real time right now. Let's see here. Where's that at? Yeah. You got geez, man, look at you. Wow. Hang on, let me get in here. 2 clouds.
Yeah, we're a little north. That's Austin. But it's the whole northern half of Texas.
Oh, yeah. Yep. It's yeah. And then you got these fronts coming in. And man, this looks kind of funky over here to the far right, over by Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yeah, it almost looks like a cyclone. It looks like it's rotating the wrong direction.
So let me tell you what I figured out with all this stuff with the weather manipulation. And this is the setting I was trying to find. So whenever I can find that map that shows when things are being microwaved and you're seeing that, okay. So the spots that you see, let me zoom in a little bit. So that is directly connected to those lasers or whatever that is, that type of technology. And one is coming this way, one is coming this way, and another one's coming this way. And all of these are part of that, which is dictating the direction, the size, everything of this thing here.
Yeah.
That's what's weird. That's what's crazy. So obviously we know it's coordinated. We obviously know that, and they're doing this for all of them. I mean, we could go look down here. Jesus, look at that. See, that's that's like the creation point to some degree.
Yeah.
With the amount of power from a laser that hit this thing.
Yeah, it's the Doppler radars, which is what they claim that's how we like track weather, but it's not. It's how they control it, because they turn them all on at the same time, and it just, like when you go outside and you look at the clouds and the clouds are just like waves. That's literally a physical representation of what they're putting into the atmosphere. They are bombarding the atmosphere with ultrasonic, waves of energy and vibrations, and the clouds mimic the vibrations. And it's kind of like water, like a ripple on the top of a lake. But yeah, they turn them all on for like 10 hours at night to ramp this crap up. And the hailstorms we had on Monday, Chaz, ranged from pea size to large marble size to golf ball to a couple of baseballs, if not slightly bigger. And that was all in the span of 25 minutes.
Guess what this also does as well? This is, you got to understand, there's a method to the madness. We're talking about some major 5D thinking here. We've been talking about the ticks, Dallas. What happens when it rains and the soil gets and forest leaves have water, this and that, whatever. The ticks come out at night. I'm just telling you, that's by design. We're seeing a lot of these farmers, man, it's crazy. And they're showing all these videos and showing all the boxes. And you got to sit there and just say, man, they are straight up trying to do some serious damage by this summer. I mean, it's going to be nuts. And we've got to get a control on it. People got to understand, believe it or not, we might know what we're talking about, Dallas. And because so far so good in terms of track records and everything that's happening right now. Now, the good news is we know what they're doing in this realm. What's the main result? Big pharma or death? Slave or death to big pharma? That's it.
Yeah, it's another vaccine.
Yeah.
Or you die of Lyme disease or whatever that new one is that makes you allergic to meat.
What's it called? The Coachella? No, what's it called? It's
something like that.
No,
I can't remember.
What's locust? It's ain't like after the locust.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. I tried my best there. Oh Lord. Let's see here. Man, sorry to go through a lot of this stuff, but we're going to be talking about this thing. You've seen that latest Tucker Carlson MTG interview?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we're going to have to put some gas on the fire, wake everybody up real quick. You may not like it. You might. Think about this show like cafeteria style. You just pick what you want and leave what you don't want. So we all have our different points of view, but I want you to understand, look at facts. Don't look at opinions. Don't look at opinion. Look at facts. Do your due diligence. Research this, and check it out because it's pretty cray-cray.
Be really clear. This
You
is
hear that?
something that is my own conclusion. To become president of the United States, there's deals that have to be made. Otherwise, you aren't allowed to have that power. And you can go president by president throughout time, and especially throughout our lifetimes. And you can look at every single president and look at their career and the decisions that they made. And you can very quickly see that they made their deal to support Israel at all times. Why does the United States of America do that for one foreign country? It makes absolutely no sense. We don't do that for any other foreign country. No other government on earth does. Every single United States president, the vast majority of members of Congress, completely pledge their allegiance. Governors too. We have to include governors and state elected officials. They pledge their complete allegiance to the government of Israel and their purpose and their protection and whatever endeavor they decide to pursue, whether it's right or wrong, whether it helps America or even if it hurts America, they still pledge their full allegiance. They make that deal. And Tucker, I don't care what anybody thinks about me, but I believe that Trump had to make a deal like this in order to become president.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I know that she's kind of a polarizing person, I guess. I mean, I've always found her to be pretty genuine. You know, she's a politician, so you can't trust everything she says, but everything she said in that little clip is true. I mean, Lindsey Graham, I am Israel first. Dan Bongino, I'm Israel first. P. Headset, like every single one of them has literally openly said, I support Israel first and foremost.
Yeah.
Not America, Israel. And Trump never took money, and then all of a sudden he did. And he didn't take a little. He took hundreds of millions.
They passed FISA as well.
They left it alone. They passed it with no warrant FISA. That's how Trump got 37 or 32 felonies filed against him, and he's not going against it.
It was bipartisan. All of them were in on it. and voted it through, pushed it through, no issues.
That is not good, Chaz. that is setting the tone for all of this other stuff we've been talking about, the surveillance state stuff with the flock cameras and the Peter Thiel and Palantir and all the cameras and all of the retina scanning in the cars. That means that they can then go and pull records of your driving without your knowledge. They don't need a warrant. I mean, like, do people not understand how this is all tied together? And it is not going to be good for us. It's literally going to lock us down. And if you disagree, well, guess what, sucker? You're going to disappear, never to be seen or heard from again. You're going to be in a dark hole, and nobody's going to know about it. And they're going to use that legislation right there to justify it, to violate our constitutional amendments.
Mile marker 8. Cut the brakes. I repeat, cut the brakes. There's a curve ahead.
You're right. And so here's another point. This was actually on OAN where they were talking about the kill switches on the car. Great segment. Let me pull this up real quick. Check this out.
You got to understand the unintended consequences of this paragraph could be severe. It was sold to the public or to Congress as a drunk driver initiative. But look, what about a woman fleeing an attacker or a stalker? Her pupils are going to be dilated. She's going to be breathing hard. She's going to be alert. What if it says, no, you're impaired. You can't drive your car to escape from an attacker. This could be unintended consequences that you got to understand the unintended consequences of this.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't care what. I mean, yes, that is a 100% valid argument, but something. What if you're a doctor, right? I mean, because I try to put this in real life scenarios for people. What if you're a doctor? You've been on a 24-hour shift. You did 3 surgeries. You are exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally, and you get in your car and you got to make it 15 minutes home. You're awake, but you are exhausted, and your body is flooding it. You know, your body's flooded with all sorts of chemicals. You know, from the stress and from the exhilaration. Right. You get in the car and it says, you are too impaired to drive. You know what I mean? Like that's not a life and death scenario, but doctors that work 24-hour shifts, or first responders that work 24-hour shifts, or that waitress that works the midnight shift, and it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and the computer says, man, anybody driving at 5 o'clock has probably been out drinking. You know, or that third shift that gets off at 2 a.m. Like it's just putting the control into an arbitrary computer system is problematic. Problem number one. The fact that the government and the police are directly tied into that data and that information is problem number 2. And nowadays, your steering is not mechanical, right? When you turn the steering wheel, it's not connected to a tie rod that goes down and turns a bolt and then it rotates the tires. Same thing with your brakes. Back in the day, you push the brake pad, it pulled a lever or pushed the lever, and it compressed the pads, and that's how you stopped. That's not how our cars work anymore. Our cars are 100% electric, or not electric, but computer. So when you said, cut the brake line, it's a push of a button, and your brakes no longer work. Like you don't have to cut nothing anymore. All you got to do is hack into the system, which this no warrant FISA gives them access to, in a weird way. But you hack into the computer system of the car, and you say brakes no longer activated. Guess what? You don't got no brakes, and there is nothing you can stomp on that pedal as much and as hard as you want to. It is not going to make a difference because they're not mechanically connected anymore.
100%. By the way, I've been listening to you and trying to multitask. A lot of people in the chat are asking this question. They're like, I've never heard Pete say that or whatever about being Israel first completely.
You have to go back.
I made it simple. I made it simple for everybody because I did it while we were just talking. And all you got to do is go to Grok. It pulls in all the videos and everything. I'm saying it's the power of technology. It's a power of technology, because that's something else. You got to understand with technology, you're able to pull so many different sites, and then you can use your discernment on which sites are credible and maybe which ones are not. But I don't know. I got about like 5 pages of stuff. I'm not going to read it. Everybody else can go do that. It's not that hard. It's not probably what you want to hear, but you can go and your videos and everything else is there for you. So there you go. I just want to go ahead and hammer that off because that's what you got to do in some cases. Well, you can't trust everything on the internet. Well, what the hell are you going to look at? You know what I'm saying? What are you going to only go by intuition and crystal ball in front of you? No. You know, I mean, it's not going to. You got to go with facts.
But that's part of the problem, Chaz, is that people are unwilling to do any work for themselves, and they just take whatever the word of somebody they listen to or what. But they are unwilling to take 30 seconds and Google it, right? I mean, I'm not a huge AI fan of any sorts, but you just proved a point. You have a question, ask Rock, and if he can't find it, you know, there's 1,000 different ways. But go back to 2017. He's given multiple speeches. You know, the speeches they gave before they before they invaded Iran. This is God's prophecy. Like you were doing God's work. Like, where does that come from? That comes from the misinterpretation of the Bible, and that we are protecting Israel because we have to as Christians.
And then they're bashing Christians. There are monuments and everything else on the backside. Make it make sense.
They are slaughtering Christians with sniper rifles. They slaughtered a mother and a daughter, Christian mother and daughter, in Gaza from 200 yards away. They were walking. They were in front of a church. Boop, sniped both of them. And then when they got called out because there was evidence that it was Israeli, you know, forces that killed them, like, oh, it was an accident. But they would have never said anything. They would have denied it and just brushed it under the carpet until somebody had some evidence. And then Netanyahu was like, oh, it was a training accident. It was a training accident. He shot 2 unarmed women in the face from 200 yards away.
Brother, we're over the target. They're already saying I got to shut down this browser that I'm going through, and I'm just going to not even pay attention. This is what they do. When you start getting on target and we start talking about what's really happening, I'm sorry, we're the spoilers, ladies and gentlemen, of the movie. We are, and they don't like it. So tough, because we deserve to know the truth. Hey, by the way, you want to know what tornadoes are going to be looking like in 2027? Check this out.
Can't hear anything. Is this a commercial? Oh. There was no sound, but if you just paid attention, they get in there. There's a tornado coming. They get in the car, and it says that he is stressed, and it won't let him drive off, right? And then at the end, it says, "You will own nothing and be happy about it." It's just a parody on what we've been talking about. But like,
they don't even want you to hear that. That's what I'm saying. They're nuts, man. This is crazy.
That's real. That's a real life parody of what is going to come. What if your wife is having a baby, Chaz, and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta get to the hospital, and your car says, sir, it looks like you are a little bit, your heart rate is up, your blood pressure's up, your pupils are dilated. It looks like you're impaired one way or the other.
Man, they're going bananas in the chat, dude. Let me replay this if you don't mind. They're saying, please play it again, please. Okay. Dallas, let me know if you can hear this. Can you hear it?
Daddy, looking good. Granny, we gotta go.
You think? Let's go.
Come on.
Due to elevated heart rate, high stress levels, and panic indicators, you are not fit to operate this vehicle.
What? There's a tornado!
Have you tried calming down?
Daryl, it's getting bigger.
Start the truck!
Let's begin a breathing exercise. Inhale. Exhale.
I'm not breathing right now!
Daryl, do something.
I'm trying!
Analyzing driver condition, I've determined you
I know what you're determined, but you're wrong!
I am never wrong.
Whose bright idea was this?
Your government's.
Granny, I have a feeling we're not in America anymore.
Uh-oh.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
All right. Jeez, there you go. Man, they're messing with us.
But no, that's a perfect, iteration of what's to come. Somebody's talking about, us bringing Charlie Ward on, and he says it's a movie, and we play with kid gloves. And, my mom raised me to be a polite person. I don't agree with most of what Charlie says, but I'm not gonna be rude and impolite, because one, it's not my show, it's Chaz's show, and he brings on the guests. But this is obviously a movie. I said it on Monday. I said this is the worst movie I've ever been forced to watch and be a part of in my whole entire life.
It'll probably be on Netflix pretty quickly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The fake assassination thing, whatever that was on Monday. I mean, that was,
and I agree with that. It's totally fake. There's no question about it.
I made movies in junior high and high school. I've always been a fan of movies. I have made movies that have better acting and better cinematography and better choreography and fight scenes and things like that than what we watched on Saturday night at that correspondence dinner. Like, it was god awful. But we also bring other people on, which we don't do very often, but we bring other people on to get a different perspective that is different than mine specifically, but different than Chaz's most of the time too. But it's, I don't know. It's like when we bring on governors and people running for Senate and governor, like, they don't agree with everything we agree with. And what I learned early on is, if you come out the gate with one of those guys and say, so you think JFK Jr. is still alive? They're going to politely disconnect from our call and go away, because even if they did believe that, they can't say that because it's going to be used against them, right? Like, so sometimes you guys just got to give a little bit of grace, and I will not scream and yell over somebody else to get my point across. Sometimes I do scream and yell, but I'm not going to do it over somebody to get my point across, because this is not how I was raised. But
right, you got to understand, at the end of this, the goal is the same. It's about the children. It's about why we started this, when we really started waking up and understanding, learning about DUMBs, learning about, the experiments on these children, the child trafficking, more than anything else, even including our own freaking government, all governments. Corrupt.
Yeah. And accountability, because horrible things have been done. It goes back to Anthony Fauci, right? Like, what's crazy to me is that the American people weren't mad when they found out he was doing experiments on us.
Right.
They got a little upset when they found out that he had been doing experiments on orphan infant children for the better part of 3 decades. But they didn't get pissed until they found out that he was doing experiments on beagles. When they found out that he was doing experiments on dogs, people lost their mind, Chaz. I don't know if you remember that, but
the beagle, wasn't it the beagle? And because MTG showed it when one of the
where they would trap the beagle, and then they would infest it with what did they infest it with, Chaz? Ticks. They poured a bag of ticks. They've
been planning this forever, man. Yeah, I mean, and no one and everyone is being distracted while we're being taken to the gas chamber. Not all of us, but I think it's in our passion, Dallas, because we want to help people understand what truly is going on, and don't just sit by the wayside and not prepare yourself or know that we're being had as we speak.
Well, and to just wake people up to the reality, there was another executive order passed this week that basically makes it illegal to grow organic crops without using pesticides and fertilizer and Monsanto GMO seeds. So this year alone, 140,000 private farms are going to go bankrupt because President Trump, and again, I'm not bashing Trump. I am just pointing out that the things that he says and the things that he's doing do not line up. And they don't, and they sometimes they do, but they don't always line up. This is one of them. Executive order mandating these Monsanto seeds that are glyphosate resistant. So that, but if you don't use those seeds, you can't get them because Bayer and Monsanto have a monopoly on seed sales in the United States specifically. There used to be hundreds and hundreds of vendors. There isn't anymore. Bayer and Monsanto are the only places, unless you get legacy seeds. But if you're running a farm, you're not buying legacy seeds, because you and I buy legacy seeds because we can buy 10 or 15 at a time seeds, right? If you run a farm, you're buying 10,000 pounds of seed, right? You can't get that from a legacy producer. So these farmers are being forced to buy these GMO seeds, genetically modified seeds, and they're being forced to spray glyphosates on all of them. And the farmers are saying no. And now with this new executive order, they don't have an option. They either do it or they go out of business. And if they choose to hold their ground, they're going to go out of business. And I can guarantee you, Bill, like, where are you reading that? Look it up. In Minnesota and Arkansas or Nebraska, they're having huge fights about this right now on behalf of the farmers, but it's already been done. It's already the ball's been put in place. They're put in motion, man.
Yeah. It keeps on stacking and stacking and stacking, man, with what they're doing. And then obviously distracting us more than anything else right now from the truth, from these kind of things that you're speaking of. And kind of cray-cray. Got some breaking news coming in. Well, who was prepared for Project Bluebeam to potentially start happening today, asking for a friend?
I don't know if I had today on
what I'm about to show you.
I didn't have today on my bingo card, but it's coming.
Right. Yeah, let me see if I can. I gotta share that. Put that on the screen. All right. So, drum roll. Here we go. Breaking news: more than a dozen earthquakes have struck near Area 51 in the past 24 hours. They're going to be coming up out of the ground. Whatever it is, it's going to be coming up out of the ground. Or it's going to be a hologram, or it's going to be something coming up out of the ground. This is the start of it. Who said that? Who was that? Is it Laser? Bob Laser, I believe, is the one. Nephilim, possibly. That's probably what they are anyway. Reptilians. Well, we don't down here. We're gonna come on up here and straighten out the bullshit. And yeah, by the way, we'll have you propelling on air in no time. Yeah, after we eat your babies. That's what they prefer.
Yeah.
So
I did read an article the other day that talked about the alien disclosure is coming. It's coming super soon.
I'm ready. I'm ready to pull up and then give me that red suit with the cape like American Hero, and I'll be going through brick walls and everything. Some of y'all probably don't even know what that show was. Who knows? It was old.
Yeah, with the blonde afro kind of. I mean, it wasn't really
Yes.
afro, but
Yes.
curly blonde hair. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Good stuff. Final thoughts on anything?
It's Thursday. Tomorrow is the 1st of May. I just keep praying, and just, man, have your head on a swivel, guys, and just be watching everything and be paying attention to the inconsistencies across the board, right? And I'm not just talking about Trump. I'm talking about everybody in the cabinet. I mean, Lindsey Graham is going nuts now. He's been nuts for a long time, but I mean, he's just going overboard on this bill for the ballroom. Like, guys, I don't know what the ballroom was supposed to be, but it's not what they're telling us it is. And all of a sudden, he has bipartisan approval for it because of the fake assassination attempt. There's some really weird things going on.
What if it's actually a doomsday shelter disguised as a ballroom? Just asking for a friend because of something that's coming that we're not being told. Because it seems that way, man. I promise you, I know it sounds crazy. I feel crazy in saying this on a live internet show where millions are watching us, but my discernment is screaming something absolutely insane. Because think about it. Talking about the UFO stuff, Trump's talking about the disclosure of that. You're seeing Area 51. You see all these scientists supposedly disappearing or being murdered, or they're quite honestly blowing up your Tesla while you're inside.
Yeah. Oh, I sent you that video a couple of weeks ago. Talked about the social credit score. I'll close with this, Chaz, real fast.
Sure.
Social credit score in China, and where the dude ran out of credits and they locked him in his car. He got locked in his car and he died. The guy was like, "Oh, you weren't there. How do you prove that?" There are videos of tens of thousands of young Chinese men and women sleeping on the streets because they don't agree with the social credit score and they kind of rebelled against it. And they have been locked out of their houses. They've been locked out of their apartments. They can't get food. They can't get on transportation. They can't get on the subway. They can't get on a bus. They are literally sleeping on the sidewalks all over China right now because of social credit scores. And I don't have to go to China to know that it's a real thing. So if you guys don't think social credit scores are coming, they're coming to the United States via Allah, the Palantir and the flock and all. I mean, all of that stuff. It's all coming in the dark timeline. And all I can say is pray for the positive timeline because the dark timeline is ramping up quickly. And if you don't have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, Amen. Meaning there's been a moment where you've acknowledged that you are not perfect, that you can't buy, earn, work, walk, slave your way into heaven, that the only way you can do it is through the blood and the sacrifice of Jesus Christ on the cross, and acknowledging that you're a sinner and accepting that gift, that free gift of salvation. If you've never done that, then today's the day, because you don't want to be on the other side of this when the proverbial crap hits the fan, because it's that shift is coming, and I don't know how it's going to play out. I'm pretty certain that the way that we've been taught from the Bible is not exactly how it's going to work, but there's a split. There's a sifting of the wheat from the tares, the weeds from the good crop. And you don't want to be a weed. You want to be the wheat. And the only way you're the wheat is if you're saved by the blood of Jesus Christ. So that's my closing remark. Take care of that.
Amen. 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 I'll tell you, I'm trying to stop this here, but our show on the 24th, just want to let you know, just one show that we did got us just on Rumble 400,000 views on the 24th on that show. You might want to go check it out. It's a pretty hot show that we got there on Rumble. So thank you, Rumble, for showing us the love. Finally, after having to beg and try to make something happen, not beg, but just call some folks out, and there was a misunderstanding, and there's some things obviously out of their control that they can't explain to me. I think we got a pretty good idea about all that. So I think everybody just needs to put up or shut up, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you, brother.
Brother.
See you, man. Another one in the box, folks. Appreciate everybody tuning in as you always do. You really want to get the truth. You tired of making guesses, not based on facts, to find out that it doesn't work out for you? Go to join.patriotshoot.com. Find out things that are happening 2 to 3 days easily in advance. Our track record is absolutely amazing. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Join.patriotshoot.com right now. Oh, and did I mention it's free for right now? Check it out. Take advantage. God bless the Republic of the United States of America, and God bless you, Patriots. Without you folks, there is no America or world for that matter. Take care. See you. Hi there, I'm Chaz Carter. Welcome to Patriot Shoot. If you're looking for a censorship-free platform where you can freely express your thoughts and connect with like-minded individuals, then you're in the right place. At Patriot Shoot, we offer more than just a membership. For just $8.99 per month, we provide you with daily intel, weekly giveaways, and access to our exclusive voice chat platform called Patriot Talk, where we have somewhere between 200 to 400 active members just on that alone, discussing a wide range of topics every single day. You'll gain access to our state groups where you can connect with members in your states at a grassroots level. Our community is all about open dialogue and sharing valuable information without the fear of being silenced. Whether it's discussing current events, giving advice, or personal matters, or simply connecting with others on Patriot Shoot, it is the place to be. So what are you waiting for? Join us today. Experience the freedom of speech and just fill out the form below and get started. We cannot wait to have you here with us, and welcome aboard.